you thinking?
Yeah, I got all the access of all like chemical element stuff. That's got some experience.
You're on the right track.
That's a crazy stuff.
Yeah, we're on the right track.
Makes us
So
up.
how about me?
Yeah, so what is it?
Well, no, not quite. What you call like analog, like that's like what you're saying.
Minerals.
Yeah. Such a deep conversation.
Yeah, it's horrifying. What is your conclusion?
What do you reckon? What are you looking at?
Air, water.
Of course, we believe in the spirit of
Gravity's holding us up.
Close ground.
Got close so that doesn't sound
You can see it's starting to be quite
Final countdown, last minute.
what really goes into us.
that cool music.
It's muscle tissue.
So we come around and be very curious about how you do like that with your music.
Yeah,
Very curious. So can I put the music in or the same?
you think that's part of it?
Yeah, because we're not just the material stuff. Always what I need about the sound,
Yeah.
all the sense.
Yeah.
So all the senses like hearing, smelling, touching.
Yeah.
So the music.
Time. All right. So I hope everyone had a good brainstorm session and get back into it. So, well, Dave, if you want to lead the discussion as we go around the room and let's share what we got and see what we all came up with. I'm interested to see how different the responses are given the open questions.
So would this group like to share what you
Oh, you go first. Okay, our group, we come up with some, on the surface, we make up a skin, and then below that's an organ, and blood, and all the fiber, and when we go to a deeper on into the elements, we got our body, we make up of all the chemical elements like oxygen, carbon, and hydrogen, and mineral water, and also I think there's some sand too, because we have to, we got a feeling and listen, hearing, and seeing something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what
Any
all
other-
we can come up with.
That's fantastic. Any other groups? What have you got to share?
So it was what, from largest to smallest or smallest?
Small as either or, just to give you, kind of get you that
Okay,
process.
so we'll
thinking
go from
backwards.
top to bottom. So we went carbon, stardust, atoms, metachlorians, energy, cells, spirit, micro tissue, bones, marrow, skin, hair.
Don't know how we got hair at the top, but yeah, we're hairy.
I want to know where you got midichlorians from.
That was it, yeah.
Y'all watching too much Star Wars. And what you guys got here?
We went organs, tissue, bones, cells, bacteria, organelles, proteins, water, enzymes, DNA, RNA, amino acids, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, phosphorus, atoms, electrons, neutrons, and protons.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And we had feelings and emotions.
So don't hurry on.
Alright, so
Get smoked.
keep all those ideas in your head. Our topic themes will become very apparent at the end, and you guys are all on the right track, is what I'll say. But now I will hand over to Dave here, and he will explain our next activity.
All right, guys. So what I'm wanting to do at this point in the lesson is to try and engage you to think artistically about these science concepts. And what I'm going to get you all to do is we're going to co-create a musical improvisation of a scientific, she'll call it a moment, and we're going to think creatively about that science process. But initially we want you to all come out and grab an instrument. It will become clearer as we go. Any one of these instruments. Not many. There should be enough for everybody to have one instrument. Very good. Let's just check that everyone does know how to play these. Make a sound. Beautiful. Now, I just want to know that we've got control over the instrument, so let's make no sound for a moment. Beautiful. Now let's make something. Yeah. Now, can anybody identify matching sounds?
How about
Who do you guys match up? Beautiful. Right, alright. Just wanted you to keep that in mind. And now, we're going to think creatively for a moment, guys. I want you to think, if I wanted to represent in a musical composition silence, without using silence, what could we do? We were creating. I feel we were trying to think about the smallest possible nothing. How could we represent that musically?
Like just a continuous sound.
What kind of sound do you reckon? A tapping? Anyone else? A humming?
something steady?
Okay. Something steady.
White noise.
Yeah.
We've got some great ideas. How would you make white noise? Just given here, we're going to make us. We're all going to become artists in a minute. We're going to make a piece of music together. How would you make white noise? Sounds pretty beautiful to me. It sounds amazing. What was it? Whose was the hum? Did you say? Could I hear a hum? Can everyone hum? Can everyone shh?
The computer's going again.
That is
I'll
amazing.
press the timer on YouTube.
Oh, shit.
I thought we were
My
about to
Yeah, I was like,
See, I'm gonna give it out. Anyway, go on. Sorry. Apologies.
Right. So what I want us to do, we're going to make a moment of nothing, and then it's going to be separated by a big crash of the cymbal, and after that we're going to go. Let's just double check we can all make these. We can make. Yeah. Yeah.
The idea is during this nothing, you're not playing your instruments until the signal.
Yeah. So we're going to have this big sound here, and then we're going to move from the nothing to us making our sounds, and then what we want you to do is to try and move around the room and match your sounds together, and at that moment we'll slowly just stop making the sound slowly. You get the idea? So we kind of...
So group up into your,
Yeah.
pair up with your matching sound.
Alright.
So whilst you are, so just move
Hey.
around, make
So
your
this
white
is-
noise.
So this is what we're going to do. Nothings are nothings. So let's hear all our nothings. What have we got? Yeah. And while we're making those sounds, what we're going to do is, as a group, just continuously keep it going. Just continuously keep it going. Let's just,
Just take a breath, just
yeah, and try to space it out.
okay. Where are we going?
Yeah,
We're
move
just-
around.
Let's do it, yeah.
Play your instruments, play your instruments, play your instruments! Go, find your head, find your head! Go, find your head! Very good, find your head! There, find your head, find your head, find your head. There we go. Alright. Excellent. Good job. Alright.
Oh, it's a big crack.
Yep. Good job.
Alright
Alright.
guys, I just want you to reflect on that, and could you think about what that might have been, what I might have been trying to get you to portray there? The Big Bang. Well, one of those guys.
You're so smart.
It was a beautiful beautiful moment for me, music. I loved it. How do you think we can improve what we, our piece here? Let's call it the Big Bang. Could we improve it musically? Any ideas?
We could stagger our so that when we
yeah.
run out of breath,
Yeah.
that someone's always and we could do this timing like we went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of rehearsal.
Yeah.
Like that.
Rather than just
a reason.
Any other ideas? Do you think we've got a solid idea of what happened at the Big Bang? Like, do you think if we looked at that like more scientifically, it might inform what we're doing here? Do you think it's just,
explosion.
yeah, what was it? Yeah. And do you think we had a deeper understanding of what went on there? It might change what we did here.
Yeah.
Alright. Cool. So now we're just going to have another little fun video that's going to really lead us to our next topic or next sort of theme that we're sort of covering that you guys probably already know.
Strong pose.
So this is just a bit of fun. You can all sort of sit down, get comfortable, have a minute here. Everyone ready?
Floating in space. Pretty cool, huh? Some of it's water. Fuck it. Actually, most of it's water. I can't even get from here to there without buying a boat. It's sad. I'm sad. I miss you. How did this happen? A long time ago. Actually, never. And also now. Nothing is nowhere. When? Never. Makes sense, right? Like I said, it didn't happen. Nothing was never anywhere. That's why it's been everywhere. It's been so everywhere, you don't need a where. You don't even need a when. That's how every it gets. Forget this. I want to be something. Go somewhere. Do something. I want things to change. I want to invent time and space. And I know it's possible because everything is here and it probably already happened. I just don't know when to start. And that's exactly where it started. Oh, I paused it. I think there's a universe now. What's it made of? Quarks and stuff. Ah, that's a thing. In a place. Don't like it? Try a new place. At a different time. Try to stick together because the world is going to get bigger and emptier. But it's not empty yet. It's still very full and about 1 jillion degrees. Great news, the quarks are now happily married in groups of 3, called a proton or a neutron. And there's something else flying around too that wants to join in but can't because it's still too... Great news, the protons and neutrons are now happily married to each other. Some of them even doubled up. Great news, the electrons have now joined in. Congratulations, the world is now a bunch of gas in space. But it's getting closer together. And it's getting closer together. And it's getting closer together. It's a star. New ship just got made. Some stars burn out and die. Bigger stars burn out and die with passion and make some brand new, way crazier shit. Space dust, which allows newer, more interesting stars to be made and then die and explode into space dust. So now stars have cool stuff around them, like rocks, ice, and funny clouds, which can make some very interesting things. Like this ball of flaming rocks, for example. Holy shit, we just got hit with another ball of flaming rocks, and it kind of made a mess, which is weather update, it's raining rocks from outer space. Weather update, those rocks might have had water inside them and now there's hot steam in the sky. Weather update, cooler temperatures today and the floor is no longer lava. Weather update, it's raining. Severe flooding alert, the entire world is now an ocean. Volcano alert. That's land. What? Something's alive in the ocean. Oh cool, like a plant or an animal? No, a microscopic speck. It lives at the bottom of the ocean and eats chemical soup, which is being served hot and fresh, made from gnarly space ingredients left over from when it was raining rocks or whatever. Oh yeah, and it can do that.
So, this is the origin of life. This is where everything all comes from. This is what you are made of. And if we go back, we are made of stardust. So that's from the Big Bang.
Just let you know, we put stardust.
Yeah.
With your
I was trying to
scientific
You laughed and you were
Yes, so you guys are all a bunch of smart little cookies and you got ahead of us here. So at the end, so we're considering year 9s, they might not have ever heard of stardust and so on. So, and of course, bear in mind there is also a clean version of that video that you can use for children, but since we're all adults here today, I thought we'd have a bit of fun. So, you and everything in existence is made from stardust. These are sort of briefly looked at the sort of formation of atoms, which are represented by the elements. And elements in the beginning were formed in the beginning of the universe, and those created by dead stars make up all matter and therefore you. But we talked about matter and elements, and now, but what is an element, you might be asking. So to finish off, we're gonna have a look at this. This is the periodic table of elements. And each element is made up of one singular type of atom, which we will go into later on in our lesson plans. But I thought we would just have a quick look at this and understand that reading this is, and understanding how to use this, is essentially the alphabet to the universe. So you can predict what things do, properties, we can figure out the world around us and why things react the way they do through using this table, which we will be exploring through this unit. Homework? Have a think of. It's nothing too big. Don't worry. Just have a sort of thought about when you're going around and think of what are some elements that you might already know of and what might be their properties, and just have a quick look at that, and we will come back when we gather again next and share our ideas. But until then, I will leave it to Dave to send us off with something else a little bit fun, not quite related, but another sort of mashing of music and science for you guys.
Yep, so what I wanted to talk about, guys, is the idea of art being inspired or informed by science, and science being informed by art. And just give you a momentary example. It may be a new concept for you, the idea of art and music meshing together and making, what's the point of it? But if we look back at these exercises earlier, now knowing that, would we have changed the little piece that we made about the Big Bang? We might have done something different, been a lot more sensitive about different instruments that were used, and having a deeper knowledge about science could inform projects in musical compositions. And this is one gentleman here who's been mapping genes and changing into music. And I just want to play a very short piece. It's at 11. So if we just play this
This is an example again for flies. 3 normal flies and 1 white and 1 mutant fly. And I'm sure you will be able to hear the one fly.
So could anyone tell then, like the 3 sets of sounds that came out, did any of them sound different to you? Different? Did you notice?
Yeah. Different.
Yeah, one was different. So one of those, so what he has done is he's taken the sounds of the genes from the fly and turned it into a musical sequence. And one of them was a defective gene, so quite different from the other flies, and you could probably hear the sounds that are going around. But it's just wanted to give you an example of how that could be used. Science can be used to inform that art, so that could then be taken to make another piece. And but it would have required a deep understanding of the science for that to go on. So even as artists, we can look, deeply into science and find things of inspiration. I just wanted you to think about that.
Yeah, you think about that. Anyway, thank you for joining our lesson. One more good luck.
When I exit sleep, does everyone want to hit the symbol?
Yes.
Yes, come on, everyone, come around.
Just
get
don't
around.
do it as loud, please.
Is that everyone?
I've got to stick to
You do it at the same time. You can go and just do it. I know everybody probably wants to have here. And you need to look facing the other way when it happens again.
What, us touch?
Have a think about it.
Would this be an element?
And that's not what it's about.
You've got really nice handwriting.
Thank you. Thanks everyone.
Fantastic.
Thank you guys. Oh, these were the most interactive lessons.